The Hendrick I. Lott House is a survivor. Built nearly 300 years ago, this Dutch farmhouse has witnessed the birth of a nation and a nation torn apart. It housed and later hid enslaved Africans, serving as a stop on the Underground Railroad. A working farm into the 20th century, the Lott House outlasted housing speculation and rapid urbanization. Even as Brooklyn has been transformed, the Lott House has endured, a touchstone to New York's original immigrants. In 1624, the community was known as New Amersfoort, named after a city in Holland. The region was slowly populated by Dutch Boers, who raised livestock and cultivated maize, squash, beans, and tobacco. By the time the English renamed the area New York, New Amersfoort, now Flatlands, had evolved into a gentle pastoral landscape. When the first Lotts arrived from Drenthe, Holland in 1652, New York was a polyglot city of Christians, Jews, Dutch, British, free and enslaved Africans. The city needed to be fed, so the Lotts settled with other Dutch immigrants in the farming community of Flatbush, then the county seat of Brooklyn. By 1719, their grandson, Johannes Lott, had saved enough to purchase 160 acres from the Voorhees family of Flatlands. There, Johannes raked oysters from Jamaica Bay and planted fields of wheat and rye to be ground at the tidal mill at Gerritsen Creek.
It was in 1719 that Colonel Johannes Lott built the oldest portion of the house, which dates circa 1720. And that's the first section of the house, the lean-to and that little squared-off wing. The exterior of the Lott House is a typical classic Dutch-American farmhouse. You have the lean-to, you have the side wing, you have the gambrel roof, which has also been described as a ski slope roof. Those are elements that classically define the Dutch-American farmhouse. The house itself is a vernacular construction. When the Dutch came here, they used their know-how, they used their native knowledge that they were bringing with them from Holland to basically transform the landscape into profitable agricultural land, to build the houses, to build the barns. The double mortise and tenon joint, post and beam construction are all classic examples of the Dutch-American farmhouse. But most notable, the classic roofline. The Lott House was one of dozens of farmhouses across the agricultural landscape that was Flatlands, and it was a relatively quiet, settled area where everyone went about their business of farming. Things would remain quiet pretty much up until the Revolutionary period.
This peace was shattered in August 1776 when 12,000 British troops landed in nearby Gravesend. The invading troops pushed north across the Lott farm to engage in the first major battle since America declared independence. The Battle of Brooklyn was fierce and bloody. 1,000 American soldiers and 400 British were killed. While King George scored a temporary victory, the battle also convinced the Continental Army to rally behind its general, George Washington. Flatlands was occupied by the British for the remainder of the war, and the Lott farm was conscripted to feed the occupying troops. The family found small ways to rebel, however. Gennady Probasco Lott gave money to support the war effort, while the Lott children snuck across enemy lines to steal a fire shield from General Cornwallis. In September 1783, the British surrendered. America had won its freedom. New York now looked inward to its own inequalities and the institution of slavery.